Some years ago they said you invest in real estate and then you'll really make a killing after that. Is that the case now with gold? Can we say it's better to buy gold at this stage? Even real estate can take a back seat?
Well, at this point, considering the global environment, of course, there are worries. And as you correctly pointed out, even the markets have disappointed. So and on keeping that in mind, there has been a very noticeable flight of money towards gold. And analysts are saying that irrespective of the prices, despite the fact that at this point they might look a little too high, they do say that the long-term story in terms of gold does look very strong at a point when even currencies are not attracting as much attention, such as dollars, such as, of course, the euro again is taking a battering. With that in mind, analysts say that there is no safer commodity than gold right now, and there is only one way that the gold prices will edge, and that's the higher side. So that's what the analysts are saying. Of course, there will be some concerns in the shorter-term period. Now, let's keep in mind that gold acts as a balance to, of course, the global economics. When the world economy does well, gold does not do too well, and and vice versa. When the global economy starts to falter, this is when the gold prices actually pick up some momentum. So there might be some jerks, there might be some roadblocks, but the larger story, experts are fairly bullish as far as gold is concerned. In fact, even in the shorter term picture, analysts are citing figures as high as 30,000 rupees per 10 rupees of 24 karat gold. So that's the figure that analysts are looking at.
All right. Is that the figure that, Jitu, that you are also looking at? 3,000 rupees a gram pretty soon in the next couple of months, if not weeks?
Sanjay, there are bigger numbers coming out, and every time the price rises, there's a bigger number that people are talking about. But like Ashmit said, there is an economic stability. Until that instability is around, the price of gold is going to go upwards.
Okay, Jitu, also now for a common viewer now, when you buy gold jewelry as an investment, is it better to buy simple or intricate designs, keeping in mind the wastage and making charges?
Okay, I must tell you, Sanjay, that jewelry is worn for different occasions, and for different occasions the kind of workmanship is different. So if you were to go if it's worn for a party, then you would wear a lighter weight jewelry, and that wouldn't have that much intricate work. But if you were wearing it for the wedding, then there would be a lot more work on the jewel. So ideally, it should be, the kind of jewel that you buy would depend on the workmanship would depend on what occasion it's for.
No, I'm talking about not the occasion. Jitu, I'm talking not about the occasion. I'm talking about when you buy it as an investment option. When you buy jewelry as an investment option, is it better to some say it's better to save on making and wasting charges by just going in for something simple?
Okay, it's an investment option whether you buy delicate jewelry or whether it's not with a lot of workmanship or with very intricate work. Both are investments. The thing is that it's the joy of wearing something, whatever you own. So when you have to take that into consideration, then I think it would be like each one could have a different opinion on design. And some would like a more intricate design, some would like a simpler design. So it's each one's fancy, and you really can't. I wouldn't say that's what makes life beautiful. If everybody were to wear the same, then it's not interesting anymore.
That's what makes life profitable also for jewelers. It's the joy of wearing as opposed to the joy of selling. Ashmit, if I can bring you in here, I've got some statistics here to throw at you now. Research shows that over 16,000 tons of gold exists in Indian households, predominantly in the form of jewelry. And the value of this as per market price, hold your breath, is a whopping 27.2 lakh crore rupees. Now, this is close to twice the foreign exchange reserves held by the RBI.
That's right. Now, Sanjay, of course, as we already are aware, Indian people have definitely a thing for gold. They do like to not only buy gold as form of jewelry, but then again, even in terms of investment, the safety that gold provides is quite unmatched. So with that in mind, Indian households do have a definite demand as far as gold is concerned. In fact, India is one of the biggest consumers of gold, and these statistics only back those trends that, of course, Indian households have been buying. Outside of that, the Indian government itself has invested heavily inside gold. So that, of course, lends some strength. That also indicates, of course, these very evident trends that the demand for gold is not going anywhere, and the fact that the trend, if it continues, is only likely to support the prices that we currently see on the markets.
Jayashree, again to study consumer behavior, would you go in for a jeweler who's been there in the market for many years, let's say like a VBJ, a trusted name? Would you go in for somebody who's a new entrant but is offering very flashy discounts? What would, as a consumer, what would influence your decision?
Definitely the quality of the jewelry.
Not the discounts?
No, definitely not the discounts,
Okay.
because you are looking at jewelry, it's
For a
definitely
lifetime.
a long time, a long, kind of, you're going to have an association with the jewelry for a long time. And many families buy jewelry to be passed on to generations. It's like, considered something which they would like to pass on to their next generation. So obviously you have to look at quality, which should be of the first priority, because discounts may be offered today and it will go tomorrow. But once you have a good quality product, then that's going to remain with you for your life. So
Okay.
I definitely look at quality.
Okay, also gold loans today, I mean, do you think the stigma still exists? Because unlike if you let's say for a personal loan, the interest rate is so high because there's no security. For gold loan, the rates are pretty, the exchange rates. Is there stigma still exists in society?
To be honest, I really wouldn't.
You're not part with your gold too.
I have no personal experience on that front, so I would not be, able to answer that question.
Jitu, gold loans, do you see that picking up, or do you think the stigma is still there about, when it comes to parting with gold?
You see, that's the beauty about gold. You can use it, and still get value for it, and that's why people buy gold. It's bought as mainly as a security, and it's also become a fashion statement and also a social status. Today gold loans are widely advertised, and there are people. There are lots of companies who are specializing in gold loans. And it gives you money readily, and you don't have. I think it's good, because there's otherwise people who need finance have very less avenues to go and get finance at decent rates. So if you have gold and you have to go to a person who's offering loan against gold, then I think the rates would be better. And it's good for the people who are in trouble or who need money urgently.
Okay, keep your gold for a rainy day. Jitendra, at a very practical level, let's say if somebody has bought gold coins from a bank at a certain rate, or somebody has got gold jewelry bought from another jeweler, and if they come to, for instance, VBJ, what are the deductions that you will do when you actually give them money when they present their gold, either in the form of gold coins or jewelry bought from another jeweler?
See, Sanjay, there's the purity of the gold is valued first, and then we buy it back, and we prefer to exchange gold rather than to buy it for cash. But if it's our gold, then we do buy it for cash, and it's all clearly stated at the time of purchase itself, so that the client knows what is our exchange policy and what is the cashback policy.
What can you give us salient features of your cashback policy? Because I'm sure many jewelers would have pretty much identical regulations that govern them.
Yes, it's when you were to give back gold to us, we would deduct 3% of the value of the per gram rate and take it back, and based on the weight.
All right, 3%. Some would say Shylockin, but
That's right.
Now, Jitu, how is that we see advertisements in many newspapers by some jewelers offering gold at less than the prevailing market rate? Where is the catch, or are they just reducing their margins to push their stock?
See, it's like this. It's a marketing strategy. It makes it more attractive. So some people have adopted it, and we at VBJ haven't done it because we believe that we don't. It's like I think it's a kind of miscommunication. It's actually that the prices of gold are at the lowest in Chennai. If you were to compare us with any other city, I think Chennai is selling gold at its right price. There isn't much margin in the cost of gold, and you can see with the rising prices, sometimes we are selling it at a loss. Like today evening, the price of gold went up and we were selling every gram of gold at 30 rupees less than what we could buy it at. So it does happen, and I think people want to make their offers very attractive. And like the lady said, it's people. I mean, like she said, quality is important. So they are not all running towards these huge discounts offered, and they are making a rational decision when it comes to buying gold.
All right. Final question to Ashmit here. Ashmit, do you see the gold bubble getting pricked in the next few months?
Sanjay, keeping in mind the global worries here, analysts have no second thoughts about saying that gold is likely to double at least in the coming few years. That's the projection that they give us. Speaking of bubbles, well, they do say that corrections might be due, corrections to the extent of about 5 to 8% when the gold prices might slip off from their highs, but that's the most that they say. And they say that traditionally gold is such a commodity that it attracts the attention of investors and traders the world over. So, for instance, even if Indian households who have taken a fancy towards gold, even if they decide to sell, there will be somebody else waiting in the market to buy the gold at lower prices. So again, there is not much correction that they expect, and they're very, very confident. They're very bullish about which way the gold is heading, and they feel that it's only higher, and that's the way gold is likely to head. In fact, they have been coming out with calls for investors to actually come out and feel free, despite the prices, to park their funds, to park their money with gold as a safe investment option.
All right. Thank you very much, Ashmit. Always a pleasure to have you on our show with your crisp analysis. Final question to the lady here. Jayashri, if you were to win a Kaun Banega Crorepati contest, would you park all that money in gold?
Not all of it. Definitely a sizable percentage, but like to make a judicious call on all the options available. Definitely not all of it on jewelry.
Okay, but whatever gold jewelry you have to buy, you'll buy from VBJ.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, that should be music to your ears, Jitu. But thank you very much, Jitendra, for joining us on. Always a pleasure to have you as well on The Big Question. It's all the time we have for on gold. But Natasha Doraiswamy, what do you think? I mean, are you smiling, Natasha, that the gold prices are going up the way they are?
Well, Sanjay, as my mother would say, certainly gold prices going up is always a worry at the moment.
Always a worry. Okay, that's a loaded question, and that's a smart answer as well. Natasha, what else do you have for us?
Well, Sanjay, at the moment we're going for a short break here on the show, but on the other side we'll be bringing you all the latest news on the state, from the state of course, and on the national front as well. Stay tuned.